Welcome, love leaders. I was just putting some notes into the chat, show notes for you to have available to you today. Hi, I'm Dr. Shannon Roberts. I am with you on this podcast live show. So excited to be with you. I've got a lot to share. Good morning. I am going to be hosting a free webinar next Monday. I want to tell you about. It's really going to be amazing for you to get some really valuable free content for anybody that's in that romantic relationship that really truly is looking for what is this approach to really find close connection, deep knowing, loving well, and learning to connect with our most important romantic partner. I've worked my life on this, and I actually have my new book coming out, Naked Exposed, Learning to Love Well Using the Intimacy for Life webinar in your Intimacy for Life method in your relationship. And so this webinar really just kind of goes and does the highlights of what is going to be in that book. And let me tell you how I got there. I have been working for couples and with couples for 30 years, really helping them navigate conflict, coming back to this place of being able to communicate. And listen, that's the number one complaint that I get from couples when they come into my office. We just can't get along. We can't communicate. And so after having done that over and over again and finding ways and approaches to help them do that through just biblical support, but also kind of the science behind the art of arguing and how our brain reacts and responds in those moments with our emotional connecting point people, I realized, wow, now what? They navigate conflict well, but there's been years of chronic unyielding disconnection. And then this kind of we are a culture and a community where we don't get vulnerable. And so that leaves us with feelings of guardedness and lack of trust, and we don't take emotional risks. And so that means we don't feel as safe and secure in those relationships. So not only are my couples trying to come back from places of distrust, places of hurt and pain, and learning how to navigate so we don't cause further, but how do we go and get that back? Because I know that you see these couples that got it, that they truly have that emotional connection. They truly feel a deep, abiding content where they feel emotionally safe, physically safe. And you can just tell those couples that really get it. And there's this deep desire to want to have it too. And so I went on this kind of research tangent, and in my dissertation research, I have found that we are not only hardwired, biologically created to become the best version of ourselves in the context of a deep romantic attachment, but I have grown to understand biblically that it is what is taught and recommended because it's God's design for us. And so in my Intimacy for Life method webinar, I am sharing the secret sauce on how you get there. How do I not only just navigate conflict well, fair fighting? Come on, there's so much more than just that. But how do I show up and take emotional risks? And how can my partner learn how to be safe in those moments for me? and vice versa. How do I show up being safe for my partner? And how do I get and help them move to a place where they too are willing to take emotional, vulnerable risks? And how do we maintain that in such a way that quite the opposite can happen? Instead of relationship dissatisfaction, intimacy erosion, greater increase of divorce probability, but also the opposite, absolutely relationship satisfaction and contentment. Predictors of longevity of relationship, safety and security for the long haul. How do I continue to maintain renewal systems in the relationship that foster connection, that fosters continuing deepening and intimate knowing? Come show up Monday, July 17th for the Intimacy for Life Method free webinar. I put the registration in the link. You're going to want to tell all your friends and family, anyone that's in a romantic relationship, about it, because this is valuable information. It is the information that you're going to find in my book. It's the information that I share on my podcast. It's the information that I lead and guide couples through in my counseling room. Just go to my podcast. You'll hear some of their testimonies. That's the Love Leading with Dr. Shannon Roberts podcast. You can find it on all formats. But most importantly, don't miss this webinar that's coming up on Monday, July 17th. You can register. You'll get a link to the workbook. You'll get the link to the Zoom. And if you register and you can't be there live, you'll get the replay link as well. So you're definitely not going to want to miss that webinar. I love and I'm passionate about getting this information out to people so that we can learn how to love well. We truly don't know how to do this. And so not only do I identify the problems, but I also enhance the solutions. We're all looking for those. How do I love well? How do I show up safe? How do I influence my partner to continue to want to be drawn towards me and take those vulnerable risks with me? This is how you're going to do it. So thank you guys for showing up today. This is, again, Dr. Shannon Roberts, and I am looking forward to seeing you on the Intimacy for Life Method free webinar, July 17th. You're going to want to register at shannonrobertscounseling.com/webinar. That's Shannon Roberts with one N, SHANON, robertscounseling.com/webinar. All right, guys. I will see you guys next week on Monday for the webinar and Wednesday for our live show. And thank you for showing up today and learning how to love well. Bye-bye.